now Greece, and then Slovenia. Georgios.
Thank you very much. Well, firstly, we would like to thank the Commission for the revision of the Industrial Emission Directive. We recognize that there is a need to revise the directive in question in order to contribute to the objectives of the European Green Deal, and we are still examining its provisions. Regarding your first question, we are in favour of a simplified permitting registration regime for relevant activities, and we support also the inclusion of the cattle in the scope of the proposal. With regard to the environmental impact of livestock installations, such as methane and ammonia emissions, we are of the opinion that the changes in agricultural activities with a threshold of livestock units 150 will create additional costs for small-sized units, mainly due to the implementation of an environmental management system, the obligation to comply with emissions and environmental performance levels, and moreover, the problem of the ineffectiveness of the existing directive is the poor quality of the best available techniques, so we should focus there rather than changing wrongfully the threshold. On the proposed articles for setting penalties and obligation for compensation, further legal clarification are needed on how this system will be implemented in each member state. These provisions will create more problems of administrative and legal nature than the one to intend to solve. These kind of issues are regulated by national legislation, or some of them should be regulated horizontally in other contexts, like the legislative framework or liability. Thank you very much.
Greece and then Belgium.
Thank you, Anna. I wish to thank the Presidency for today's policy debate on this very important new legislative initiative. First of all, we welcome the ESPR proposals to twofold aim to reduce the negative environmental impacts of the product's life cycle while improving the functioning of the internal market. Setting eco-design requirements based on the product's sustainability and circularity aspects will contribute to achieving the EU's goals in the green transition, while supporting sustainable economic growth, and it is expected to contribute to decoupling economic development from natural resource use and reduction of material dependencies. In the next phase, it will also be useful to start a discussion on dealing with the environmental impacts of digital services. Nevertheless, it should be kept in mind that in view of the current energy crisis, which has caused strong inflationary pressures and price increases, support for consumers, in particular the most vulnerable, should be prioritized. In addition, appropriate financial support should be provided to member states and small and medium enterprises for the implementation of eco-design requirements. In this context, account should therefore be taken on the difficulties in responding to the financing requirements associated with its implementation, as well as the process of prioritizing the products covered by secondary legislation. In any case, the decisive role of Member States is important to ensure a level playing field in the single market. At the same time, as regards the organisation of market surveillance, the possibilities, priorities and specificities of the Member States should be carefully taken into account. Finally, instruments such as the digital product passport will help consumers to make better informed choices. However, the information needs to be clear, concise and easily accessible. Thank you very much.
Děkuji. Thank you, Greece. And following that, Romania.
Thank you very much. We would like to thank Slovenia for bringing to our discussion this very important issue, taking into account the increased risk of water scarcity and droughts in the European Union, with drought events already significantly impacting many European countries. We recognize the need to address the issue through a holistic approach, addressing the full drought management cycle from planning to implementation. Greece therefore supports the development of a renewed, coherent approach for drought management at the European Union level through better cross-sectoral coordination, encompassing all relevant policy areas. Thank you.
Děkuji. Thank you.